The S&P 500, the Dow Industrials, the NASDAQ 100, all setting record high closes on Wednesday as the optimism for equities continues despite the government shutdown. It seems like risk-on assets are all over the place, even though there's been a push into gold and Bitcoin. Everybody's still hungry for stocks. If you take a look at the S&P 500, is it a broad-based rally? Well, you've got the top 10 names within the S&P 500 that make up nearly 39% of that benchmark index. That's a concern. We're having a little bit of convergence there with the top names. We've got some laggards, right? You look at some of the names that have won: Western Digital, Seagate Technology, Palantir. They're all up over 100% so far this year. They're leading the S&P 500. Then on the downside, you got Lululemon, Deckers Outdoors, TTD, the Trade Desk. Those are laggards, down about 50%. Now, is it broad-based? Well, it has been widening a little bit. We saw the Russell 2000, the small caps, recently hit all-time highs also. But that concentration risk starting to wane here a little bit. And when markets get extremes, I start to look at this trending indicator that I kind of follow, and it's the number of S&P 500 companies that are above their 50-day moving average. Typically, when markets are at record highs, that number starts to increase on a percentage basis. Now, we've got charts here, so make sure you turn your phone or your tablet to the side so you can get a good reflection of this. But the number of companies that are above their 50-day simple moving average is only 54%. So maybe the lagging indicator that is, typically when it gets to 80, 90%, that's when stocks are usually at extremes. But it's only at 54%. So it hasn't been that broad-based. I think that's really real big concern. So this is one of those tracking stocks charts that I had to look at. Another way to look at this is compare that S&P 500, the SPX, to a chart of the S&P 500 companies that are above their 50-day moving average. That divergence is the widest it's been since the start of 2025. So that's a concern. Now, what happens? Does the SPX pull back? And that indicator of the number of companies above their 50-day moving average, it comes in line with that, or the reverse. Do we start seeing more resurgence? Well, we'll have to wait and see on that. Comment on me. Let me know in the comments if you think the S&P 500 is going to break, or we're going to see more optimism to the upside.